Hi everyone, and welcome to the Simple Living channel. My name's Lori, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make my mom's homemade chili sauce. It's really simple to do, and if you follow the recipe, anybody can do it. What you're going to need is 20 ripe tomatoes. You can get those from the farmer's market or from the grocery store. Or if you grow them yourself, even better, but just make sure that they are ripe. First thing you're going to do is to take your tomatoes and you want to peel them and then dice them. I have a tip to make them easier to peel. Make sure they're clean, put them in your sink and put the plug in, and then boil a kettle of water and pour the boiling water over them and let them sit for a few minutes. And once they're cool enough to take out, then you just take them out and you can peel them. And as you can see, that it makes the skin come off quite easy. So you know that they're ready to be peeled when that happens. And so you just make sure you get all of the skin off, because you don't want the skin in the chili sauce, because it would not be a very good texture within it. So then the other thing that I like to do is take the core out. So just use your knife and just take the little core out and then dice them up into, I'd say, 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch dice squares. Add 1 cup or 1 heaping cup full of diced red or green peppers. As you can see, I'm using both because I like both. And you can make it as chunky as you like. Some people might like their chili sauce a little chunkier. I prefer mine to have a finer chunks, so I've diced them up to be about 1/4 to 1/2 inch in width. Follow that with about 4 to 5 celery stalks that are washed and diced up finely. You'll need 3 large onions, finely diced. And I'm making maybe a little bit more than this recipe calls for, so I'm adding a little bit more of everything. You can adjust up or down, however, depending on however much stuff you have, but it pretty much will turn out the same regardless of, you know, whether you use a little bit more, a little bit less. And now at this point, you could take the mixture and put it on the stove, and we're just going to put it on like a real low heat and watch it gradually as it heats up. Keep stirring it until it gets to a gentle boil. And while it's heating up, I'm going to put together the spice mixture, and as well there'll be a cup of vinegar that we need to add. The recipe calls for 2.5 to 3 cups of white sugar. I've only added in a cup here because I'm just going to let it cook a little bit and do the taste test as I cook it along to see how much sugar do I actually want. And now I'm going to add in a cup of vinegar as well to the recipe and get that stirred up. And I can hear it starting to boil, make a little bit of noise at the bottom of the pot. So this is where you really have to keep an eye on it and stir it up really well to get the cool ingredients from the top down to the bottom, and just you want it to cook evenly. So you need to stir it quite often and keep an eye on it. Make sure it doesn't get too hot. You do want it to get to a nice gentle boil. And then just make sure you're stirring it often enough so that, you know, the mixture is well blended, and also so that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. So now we're going to go and we're going to mix up the spice bag that we need to add to it as well. You need to make a bag out of cheesecloth to hold your pickling spices. I'm just using a general pickling spice, and I've added in a couple bay leaves and a couple cloves, but you can use whatever pickling spice you like. And the idea is that you're going to put it into a cheesecloth, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. And you just kind of gather it all up, give it a twist, and then just use some string to tie it up. You want to put a knot in there and make sure that it's not going to come apart. So I'm going to put a couple knots, 2 or 3, and then we'll cut off the excess of the bag, and then we just throw it into the mixture and leave it in there while it's cooking. And the spices will go through the cheesecloth and make a nice flavor. So I'm going to cut this off up here at the end, and I'm going to give it another tie just to be sure that it's tied up well enough. And then cut my string off. Don't need too much of that hanging off. And then there you go, a bag with pickling spice. You can use other material if you have it, but I prefer to use cheesecloth. It seems to work really well. And I'm going to throw it into the mixture now. As you can see, it's starting to get a little bit more liquid in it as it gets hotter. And once it gets to a gentle boil, then you need to let it cook for about 2.5 hours to the desired thickness that you would like. You can see I've got my pickling spice bag in there, which is going to add nice flavor. We'll take that out at the end, and I'm going to give it a taste test maybe in about an hour and see if I need to add more sugar. That's a preference, you know, whatever you like. If you like it a little less sweet, then you can put less sugar. But I'm just going to play it by ear and see how it goes, and just keep a close eye on it, and then we will bottle it once it's ready. So I let the chili sauce boil for about 2.5 hours, and it's a nice consistency. And I did end up putting in the full amount of sugar, so 2.5 cups of sugar. And as I mentioned, this is quite a big batch, so it's not an excessive amount of sugar for the quantity that we have. But you can just, again, just do it by however you like it. If you don't like it quite as sweet, you don't have to put so much, or if you like it sweeter, you can put more sugar in it. So now I'm ready to actually can them. I have my jars ready, and I have sanitized them. The easiest way to sanitize them is just put them in the dishwasher in the sanitize mode, and then they're all set for you. If you don't want to do that, you can put them in your sink and boil a couple kettles of water and pour boiling water over them. And I did the same thing with my lids. So now I'm ready to put it all together into the jars. The final step is to bottle the chili sauce. You want to do it while it's hot. And I've removed the bag of pickling spice because you don't need that in there anymore. And as I mentioned, I'm using jars that have been sanitized. And I've just got a regular measuring cup here that I'm going to use to pour the chili sauce into the jar. And it might take 2 or 3 cups. You want to get it right to the bottom of where you see the ridges at the top. So a little wee bit more there. And then what you would do is take that and put one of your tops on it lightly, and then put the lid on it. I don't tighten it up like a lot right now. I let them sit for a little while, and then I will tighten them up as they cool down. And that's basically it. Here's the final product. I ended up with 8 jars, 5 big ones and 3 smaller ones. And I'm just going to let them continue to cool on the cupboard for the next few hours. And I will continue to tighten the lids a little bit over and over again just to make sure that they are really tight. Then once, I'll probably leave them on the counter overnight, and then I'll put them in the fridge to store them. You need to store them in a cool, dry place, a fridge being the best place for sure. And then you can enjoy them for the next couple years if you keep them cool. But I doubt that they will last that long here. This is the final product here. Looks great, nice and chunky, beautiful color. I can't wait to try it on roast beef or meatloaf. It's my favorite. I'm going to give it a try now, though. Let's see. Wow, that's really good. I hope you give it a try, and if you do, please write in the comments and let me know how you make out. If you like this recipe, I'd appreciate it if you could give me a thumbs up. You've been listening to Lori from the Simple Living channel, and I hope you guys have a great day.